Molweni, goeiemorgen, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to An Nur the Light. The path from community journalist to head of communications for the South African cricket team was not only long, but memorable one for Altaaf Kazi. We kick off this week's show in the city of Gold, where we get to spend some time with him.
Journalist, TV presenter, spokesperson and now head of communications for Cricket South Africa, Altaaf Kazi has blazed a trail in the world of media. From humble beginnings, he has not only made a name for himself, but carved out quite a successful career.
As head of media and communications at Cricket South Africa, we cover a wide variety of aspects within the media and comms industry. It's reputation management, first of all, to ensure that Cricket South Africa has a positive brand out there. People see us as a positive organization. You have the Proteas, you have women's cricket, you have development cricket, messaging all around that. It's promoting transformation, which is a key element of Cricket South Africa. That's what we do. There's media relations, managing relationships with the media. So building on that, making sure that we respond to media on time so that we get our side of the story out there. The website falls under me, social media, digital media, and then events as well. So like I said, it's quite a wide variety of things we do as a department.
Like so many others before him, Altaaf got his first taste of media at a local community radio station and has used the experience to build himself at every opportunity presented. From here, he moved into a successful career in TV before leaving for the corporate world where he is currently at.
I joined Cricket South Africa in 2012 at a time where they were in a bit of trouble. Bonus scandals, the public perception of Cricket South Africa was not that great. People felt that, we weren't an honest organization. My whole idea was to ensure that we become transparent, that we're able to promote all our activities, tell the good news stories, make life easier for journalists because we know how demanding their jobs are and what they need to do to get their stories. So a key emphasis for me was managing that relationship and making sure that they get what they need when they need it. So when they phone for a comment, when they need sound bites, when they need photos, or when they need to speak to players, that's what I do. I ensure that we streamline that process. So that's been one of the success to ensure that there's a positive image for Cricket SA. I think there have been very few scandals in the time that I've been at CSA. I mean, captains have resigned, we've had the match fixing scandal, but those have all been managed and appreciated by the media in the way we've managed it. So for me, ensuring that there's a positive reputation has been a highlight.
South Africa's national cricket team is the pride of the nation, and the association wanted the fans to get behind them in a big way. The result was the Proteas Fire campaign, and Altaaf was instrumental in its rollout.
For me, ensuring that there's a positive reputation has been a highlight. Working on the Protea Fire campaign, seeing how it all started and getting the message out there from the players. So Protea Fire was very much something that the players believed in. It was very internal for a while. And then the players decided they wanted to get it out. So being part of the team that got the message out, that developed some of the content, that just got people together, because I believe Protea Fire was one of those instances where when a team does bad, the fact that players got to know, or fans got to know the players through the Protea Fire campaign, they understood the challenges, the pressures, and that helped a lot when there's defeat, that, because players do understand.
The job consumes Altaaf's time, so when he does get to be at home, he makes the most of it. He could be forgiven for bringing some of his work home and sharing it with his son.
Family is really important. I have a son, a gorgeous son, a really appreciative wife. The demands of the job is such that I travel a lot, I'm on the phone a lot, I spend more time at the office out of home than at home, but when I am at home, I try to make the most of it. I think the key is to have a very understanding family. The key is that when you do have the free time, you know, you spend it as much as you can at home. We're quite outgoing people. We love our friends. We love hanging out with people. We love going out. But also there are times when we like chilling at home. But I do believe they are your support base. They are your biggest fans. They are your number one fans. And that's why I feel family is really, really important. I mean, nobody sees you at the office when the chips are down. You come down at the office, you portray someone who's really strong, someone who's out there, you know. When you come home and you have a crap day, that's when you need your family just to listen to you, to hear you out. But they are your biggest supporters. I don't think there's bigger supporters than, in my case, and my wife and my son.
The boy from Lansdowne, Cape Town has come a long way from where it all began. He has remained steadfast in his pursuit of excellence and is happily the mentor and role model for so many others.
American designer Ralph Lauren said, "Fashion is not necessarily about labels. It's not about brands. It's about something that comes from within you." This is what we try to reflect in our Street Style segment up next.
My personal style is a mixture of old school and kind of simple in a way. So for me, simplicity is very beautiful.
I like to buy pieces or even make pieces that I can keep for a long time. This sort of thing will never date. Okay, maybe the neon sneakers, but furthermore, everything else.
I wouldn't say it's like very unique because, I mean, I look like anyone else walking the street wearing hijab. But it's basically just covering up, yeah.
The outfit I'm wearing, this is a voluminous top that I'm wearing, voluminous blouse, and then also straight cut chino kind of pants. And this represents who I am. I like the old school kind of look, and then also the wide sleeves and like the contrasting colors as well.
I like this look of half formal, and then I paired it up with these new sneakers, which is the Fly Knits from Nike. So they're quite, I like them, they feel like a sock. And then also my colors, you can see black and white. So I like classic color and styling.
I'm wearing khakis and sneakers. I'm wearing pants because I don't like dresses, but I do wear dresses. But I prefer pants over dresses. I'm wearing this throw because it's nice and long, so I really like it because it covers everything. And my scarf.
Dina Tokyo. She's very famous on Instagram, and I also see a few local Muslimas that are also quite stylish, but I'm not kind of inspired by the style. I would go with my own style with what I like.
I like to be on trend with certain key pieces. I mean, I don't follow all the trends. Even as a designer, I don't jump at every fashion trend that comes.
I don't always keep up with the trends of today, and like it's quite difficult with hijab because like the latest trend is like short stuff and all that. So it's not really important. I just wear like whatever I have and just make it look more stylish.
Advances in medicine has improved lives significantly, and we explore this in our next topic, atrial fibrillation.
On average, the human heart beats up to 100 times per minute. But for the more than 500,000 South Africans living with atrial fibrillation, this quickens to an irregular 500 times per minute, increasing the risk of heart failure and stroke.
So atrial fibrillation is the commonest arrhythmia or rhythm disturbance that we find in humans. and it affects probably between 1 in 8 to 1 in 10 of the population above the age of 65 years. So it's fairly common. But we see it in young patients as well. The youngest patient we've ablated for atrial fibrillation is actually about 19 years old. And the eldest, well, more than, in excess of 90. So, I mean, just to show you that there's a very broad spectrum in terms of the ages of presentation. So the rhythm disturbance is characterized by the fact that the pulse becomes chaotic, that it's got no pattern to it at all, and we refer to it as an irregularly irregular pulse.
In 2014, a groundbreaking medical procedure was pioneered and performed by cardiac electrophysiologist Dr. Razin Gopal, equipping former patients with a new lease on life. Cryoballoon ablation has now become standard practice in treating atrial fibrillation globally.
The procedure is entirely unique in the sense that, I mean, the procedure has been performed for many years, you know, on, you know, literally hundreds of thousands of patients throughout the world. It's different from the standard form of ablation therapy that we offer, in the sense that we are using intense cold energy to damage tissue, whereas normally we would use high-frequency ultrasound, which is also referred to as radiofrequency ablation, to try and damage the housing or casing of the abnormal circuit. But here we're using, you know, intense cold therapy, which, you know, has been a kind of a swing in the pendulum for the electrophysiological community. We certainly consider ourselves to be a very high volume practice in that regard, and we've had extensive experience over many years in terms of, you know, cryoablation technology.
Based at the Cape Town Atrial Fibrillation Center, Dr. Gopal is one of only a handful of experts able to perform the operation. A tiny balloon is embedded into the left heart chamber, precisely placed and cooled, barring the defective electrical signals causing the condition.
So the procedure entails essentially silencing of triggers which serve as electrical sparks within the left atrial chamber. So atrial fibrillation is the condition where the heart rhythm is irregular, and early on in particular of the disease we have what we call a trigger-based substrate, where it is thought that areas around the mouths of the veins which drain into the left atrium, which are called the pulmonary veins, contain signals which serve as sparks or triggers to set the AF off. So the cornerstone of the procedure is pulmonary vein isolation, whether you're isolating the mouths of the veins either by burning a ring with heat energy or by freezing a ring with cold, intense cold energy. You know, the outcomes are very similar.
Today, Dr. Gopal and his team of experts have successfully performed more than 400 cryoballoon ablation procedures, from specialist cardiac anesthesiologists to clinical technologists, each indispensable in their respective roles.
We're technologists, and we run all the technology in the lab for doctor. So whether it be the 3D mapping system, we also got a pacing simulator here, or the EP recording system. So basically we just use the eyes, and yeah, we help assist him during the case to get where he needs to be. So the procedure on average, we're probably running about 2.5 hours. The dangers are, they all carry risks. Generally, I mean, we've had, touch wood, good run, and yeah, no any major complications.
The beating of the heart and its rhythm is powered by electrical currents, which in turn course through the entire body. Observing the miracle that is the human body is truly astounding, and one cannot help but to be in awe of the Almighty.
Our monthly events calendar brings you the latest hip and happening events in your neighborhood. We are extremely thankful to everyone who sends their notices, but for those who missed the deadline, you're always welcome to mail us, and we'll put it on our social media pages.
Arabic is the lingua franca of Islam, and so all devout Muslims are desirous of learning it so that they can interact better with fellow Muslims from other places who speak languages other than their own. There is, however, no greater motivation for learning Arabic than enhancing our relationship with Allah. This is because it is the language which via Allah has chosen to communicate with us in the Quran. and it is the means of communication with Him during acts of worship like Salah. As such, what better way to approach the study of Arabic other than via His speech, the Quran, and the invocations we make to Him during Salah. For the first time in Cape Town, learn Arabic via the Quranic chapters, most commonly recited in Salah and its Sunnah invocations. Via this innovative method, students learn both the basics of Arabic and the translations of Quranic verses and invocations recited during Salah. Lessons start from zero Arabic ability to mastery of the basics of Arabic. As such, this course is suited for all levels and demographics. Are you planning to perform Umrah in the near future? Are you a little worried about all the do's and don'ts of Umrah? Or are you someone who has been to Umrah before but needs a few reminders for the next pilgrimage? Cover all the essential fiqh of performing Umrah in a structured 8-week workshop. Every Sunday for 8 weeks, 15th October to the 3rd of December 2017, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Doors open at 10:45. The cost is 400 Rand per person and 220 Rand per month, 2 payments. The Cape Town International Boat Show showcases all the latest in boats, water sports and equipment, from luxury motor yachts and sailing catamarans to entry-level boats, outboard motors, electronic equipment and water toys for the whole family. Do you love organizing? You have everything in its place and a place for everything. Get paid for your organizing skills. Get your business on the road. Become a Professional Organizer workshop will be held on the 21st of October 2017 at the Midrand Conference Center. For more information, contact Heidi via email. This hands-on workshop is taught by Heidi Meyer, Professional Organizer to a small group of 15 delegates. You are encouraged to participate in this workshop by bringing your questions on how to create a professional organizing business to the table. As-Salam Educational Institute will be hosting its annual fundraising dinner and awards evening. The event is aimed at raising funds to provide free schooling and a dawah service to over 500 young adults. Beitul Hikmah is hosting an Zakia storytelling tour with special guests Zain Baker, Rashid Baker and American artist Halil Ismail. There will be a book signing and meet and greet, entertainment, movie screening and a writing workshop for aspiring writers. An event not to be missed.
Our social media pages has grown quite steadily over the last year, but we need to get more people to like, follow and tweet about the show. We depend on you, our loyal viewers, to help us with this. Please spread the word. Lamise is ready to show us her buffalo wings recipe.
Assalamu alaikum. So Saturdays is usually sports day in my house, which means the boys are permanently hungry. And I'm always trying to find quick and easy snacks that I can make to keep the boys happy. And I usually make a buffalo wing that's just dusted with salt, pepper, flour, deep fried, and a variety of dipping sauces. But this is my spicy buffalo wing variety. And in order to make that, you need the following ingredients. I've got 500 grams of chicken wings. And to spice them up, I use a cup of flour. I use 1 tablespoon of barbecue spice. I use 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I've got 1 egg, and that's to bind the spice to our buffalo wings. And then what I've also got is a tablespoon of peri-peri powder. And I've got a tablespoon of aromat. If you don't like the MSG, feel free to use salt. And then we've got 1 tablespoon of mixed herbs, and I've got a tablespoon of garlic salt. The best part is the jerky sauce. And for that, I use some yogurt, and I've got the double cream yogurt variety, and some blue cheese salad dressing with just a splash of lemon juice, and I promise you, you'll be dipping away. So to start, all I'm going to do is take my flour and add it to a bowl. And yes, it's that simple. In goes my barbecue spice, our garlic salt, mixed herbs, we've got our aromat, our baking powder for crispness. And when it comes to the peri-peri, I like it hot, so you don't have to add the entire tablespoon. We're not quite sure who's coming over, so let's not take all of it. All you have to do now is mix this through thoroughly. And once you see that all your spices are nice and evenly distributed throughout your flour, all you need to do now is crack your egg. Egg in. And now you mix. And I do have my oil going, and it looks like it's quite hot at the moment, which is perfect because you want your chicken to be crispy on the outside and nice and moist on the inside. And this gets dunked into our flour. So secret here, have one dry hand and one wet. That way you don't get the sticky fingers. Another quick and easy way to do this is throw all of this into a packet and just shake. And there we have it. All our chicken is done. Well, dusted, but not quite done. Now they just need a good fry off. And in it goes. And usually just the smell of this going in the kitchen is what brings the boys to the yard. So while my chicken is frying, I'm going to do a quick cleanup so we've got space to do the turkey sauce. So the chicken wings are minutes away from being done. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get my turkey sauce going. And all that I do for that is the following. A couple of spoons of yogurt, some double cream yogurt, and then I add to this quite a bit of blue cheese salad cream. Now use your variety of choice. The cheesier the better as far as I'm concerned, and all that this needs is a good stir just to get your yogurt through your sauce, a squeeze of lemon, and nothing more than a sprinkling of salt. And we've got turkey sauce on tap. So I'm going to transfer this into a prettier bowl. And get out our chicken wings. And these are crispy, golden brown, spicy. I just let these lie on a roller towel for a few seconds just to degrease them as much as possible. Just quickly turn this off. And there we have it. Turkey sauce and piping hot buffalo wings. I promise you, sports day would never be the same. Ooh, yeah. So there you have it. Saturdays at my house on a board. So until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
Don't forget you can view our recipes online on YouTube as well as on our Facebook page. Remember to take care of your health and make sure you have regular checkups. I'll be back next week, same time, same place, inshallah. I'm Mara Mukwanda. Salang handle. Assalamu alaikum.